Yo, shalom.
Shalom, yo.
Yo, welcome to the Black Narrative. I'm Black Ice.
And I'm Akis.
And as you know, we on the Yoshi channel tonight. We still on our YouTube ban.
Yeah,
for the week.
Hopefully we get let out of timeout in a few days.
Yeah, hopefully so. But I'm glad you're here with us. If you missed the live broadcast on the Yoshi channel, we will have this video on the Black Narrative channel probably either late tonight or tomorrow. So we can still upload on that channel. We just can't go live on that channel right now.
Right.
You know, under this ban. But I hope everybody doing good. Had a great weekend. We have a new show, new lineup, new format tonight. So
let's try it out.
Right, yeah,
because the copyright strikes have been killing us.
Yeah, man, they've been coming after us pretty heavy. But it's all good because we still get this knowledge out and everything. Yeah, YouTube jail. Yeah, exactly. YouTube jail is real.
With the YouTube pen.
Yeah, man. But so we had a great show. So tonight we want to talk about Nick Cannon. And so Cannon went through a whole lot of stuff for the past 7 months. And just recently
I can't believe it was that long ago, man.
Yeah, the time flies,
right.
But recently he reinstated to have Wildin Out again on VH1, so they should start filming again soon. And so we're going to talk about the price he had to pay to get his show back.
He went on, he DJ'd at enough bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, man. Like he tap danced and everything, man. Right. And basically butt breaking. Only reason we didn't put it in the title because other people are using it, so with the different term, but basically it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And they broke down Nick,
Because think about it, man. He started wearing the turbans. He started having this show where he was talking about all these, frankly, B1 topics.
Yeah. And they're fine. They gave him a pass.
Right.
But he said that one thing that he crossed
with
the line.
Ish.
Yeah, about the ish.
With the ish.
Yeah. We're gonna call him the ooish because we're not trying to get banned again from this channel.
Right.
We're call him the ooish.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it. We'll go right here. All right. So. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things he did that Nick had to do, him and Tiffany Haddish launched a Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance with 170 other entertainment leaders.
Man, 170.
That's part of his apology thing he had to do.
Right.
He did a lot, and we won't go through it. Like it's one thing to say one apology and move on, but no, they made Nick do a lot of things to get his show back.
Man, and it's interesting because you notice one thing that they kept going back to was the whole thing of Nick saying that we were the true Hebrews.
Yeah.
So him and you remember on the Breakfast Club when Tiffany Haddish was talking about knowing that we're the true Hebrews as well?
Yeah, right. Real briefly.
Right.
Yeah, because her father came from Eritrea.
Right.
Yeah, because she was rocking the Star David, so she was trying to find her way through it, whatnot. So it's funny how Tiffany Haddish is part of this alliance.
Right.
So they know who we are, and yet you still teaming up with these ooish people.
Right.
That we're gonna call them, and so we'll go here. Yeah, so more than 170 Black and Jewish leaders from the entertainment industry have announced a joint initiative to counter racism and anti-Semitism in the entertainment community, which is funny because,
man, how much anti-Semitism do you have in the entertainment community?
Yeah, but even knowing
that who's employed by them,
or knowing who you are, so you're
right.
basically saying you're hating yourself, basically, who they're claiming to be. So you already know about Tiffany Haddish, but look at some of the names involved in this. Herbie Hancock, Diane Warren, Jason Alexander. This is the guy from Seinfeld.
Wow.
Yeah, Gene Simmons. The rock star. Billy Porter. You already know they've been the Democratic Party kind of pouncing him around for the past couple of years. Anton, he's a dope black director. He the one he directed Training Day and a couple other big major films. So,
and they launched the Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance.
Yeah, so that's
Black
part
Jewish.
of it. Yeah, and it said the alliance came after Cannon was slammed and fired from Viacom CBS last summer for making anti-Semitic remarks. The 39-year-old actor and businessman issued a lengthy apology for the controversial comments after consulting the prominent rabbi Abraham Cooper. And Cannon and Viacom CBS, I don't know why they put Viacom. Viacom CBS are reportedly in talks. So, of course, he lost his contract with Viacom, but he kept his contract with Fox. Fox, he's still, he's like co-producer of The Masked Singer. and come on the show.
So it's probably one of those things where they probably couldn't. It was probably harder to take him off. But
Well,
I mean, he did own Wildin Out.
Yeah. But like I said,
thing.
but the person in charge over there at Viacom, I think the same person in charge is Uish.
Right.
So Fox, they weren't as bothered. I mean, when it first happened,
they still got to play ball, but they weren't as
they weren't as hard on him.
Right.
Because Candace said apologized even to keep that Fox contract, but they let him go after that apology. But Viacom wasn't playing that.
Goodness.
So yeah, and this is the bottom of the press release of this alliance. In the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr., Rabbi Abraham Herschel, and many blacks and Jews who stood together in the fight for civil rights, we come together to support each other in the struggle against hatred and bigotry. In the words
of Martin Luther King.
In the words of the late John Lewis, we are one people, one family, the human family, and what affects one of us affects us all. And we already had conversations about John Lewis. Cause we one of them. B1, glad you're here. Shalom.
Amanda.
So John Lewis, I guess what they call a bootlick.
Yeah. MLK.
Yeah, MLK. Yeah, I mean,
what I find ironic is the whole thing with the rabbi talking about all this unity and using Martin Luther King and John Lewis. That's the same thing they did with the Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Movement was the Black and Jewish Alliance.
Yeah.
And you see how that turned out?
Yeah, right. And and we did a whole episode about this last year. Like, you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. How all these civil rights organizations were owned by the Jewish people telling us to integrate when they don't integrate themselves.
Right.
And we did a whole episode on how they segregate themselves. They're telling us to integrate.
But we're gonna get into some more interesting stuff with the way they mess with us.
Yeah, definitely, man. So there's another headline. Get fighting. So they just throw them out there in these headlines. So that's how you just look up the canon. This come up in like the top 10 thing here. But yeah, this next article, that's from USA Today. And here, nearly 7 months after cutting ties, the company announced the VH1 sketch comedy series Wildin' Out with resumed production with Kenny as a host. So, I mean, 7 whole months of him going through it. And we're gonna go through the stuff that he had to go through. In a statement to USA Today Friday, MTV Entertainment Group said Cannon has taken responsibility for his comments and worked to educate himself through conversations with Jewish leaders. And we'll get into those conversations that he had. And he said, I want to assure my Jewish friends, new and old, that this is only the beginning of my education. Cannon said in a public apology last July. He said this last July.
Right.
February, just not getting the show back. I am committed to deeper connections, more profound learning, and strengthening the bond between our two cultures today and every day going forward. So, to me, this is bad saying how to make it all inclusive with the black and brown.
Man, because at least with the black and brown, we live in the same area.
Similar, anyway. And even though they kind of above us too, 'cause at least they still had their own communities.
Seriously.
Like Beautiful Highway,
Exactly.
They said their own businesses, they had their own bus system.
But man, you really don't even see the Uish that much.
Nah, unless you live within the E-roof.
Right, exactly.
So I thought that was interesting. All right. Oh, there you go. All right. So this is another source here. I want to pull something from this quote that he had here. Yeah. So this is the quote where he got fired from, and actually we have a clip here. Hold on. Maybe we'll get y'all going. I guess we can show this clip. There's probably much that we can show y'all. And we'll go here.
I speak of the and where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun that was.
Now this is the funny part. Now what he about to say here, he didn't get fired for this part. If he had power for this part, I understand. This part to me was worse than what you said, about the Uish.
Man, and everything he was saying about him was true.
Yeah, about the Uish people. But this is what he's saying about white people here.
That the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough torrential environments, so they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages.
Every single day, someone of prominence.
Yo,
And you know, because it's PragerU, they got to get a black guy to talk about it.
yeah, right, yeah.
They got to get a nigga to talk about it.
So it's funny, like we all know that white people did a lot of atrocities against us and around the world.
Of course.
But Nick is the victim of a person who takes in too much knowledge.
Right.
Like you can't just take in everything that you read. I mean, I applaud him for wanting to look. He want to look deeper. He want to get that knowledge.
Right.
But let's not ignore that black people done a lot of atrocities too. Now,
right.
Because before the Europeans ruled the world, and the Hamites ruled the world.
Right.
The Arab slave trade.
And it's one of those things where you have to learn how to filter out certain things. And even though what he said, there might be some truth in it.
There's some truth in it.
There's some interesting truth in it, but
we're not gonna sit here and act like all white people are animals.
Right.
We're not gonna say that
and act like that's not a part of all of our nature.
You're right. Yeah. Like, and then cause almost like the way he worded that is as implying that black people have never done such things.
Right.
And and there's some very crazy black people too.
And I mean, he could have worded it in a way where he got his point across, because I mean, the fact that they colonized the whole world and this, that, and the third. There was a point there, but he started losing.
He started going left.
He started going left when he started saying how they're closer to animals and this, that, and the third.
And now you blend in everybody too, because now you're trying to say all black people are the same, and we know that's not the case.
Right, right.
So you get different family lines there. So I thought that was interesting here. But let's go back to the PowerPoint here that we had here. Yeah, but I want to show that part. But he didn't get fired for that part. But after that, he said, anyone who knows me knows that I have no hate in my heart nor malice intentions. I do not condone hate speech, nor the spread of hateful rhetoric. And that's the evidence there. It's hard to swallow. We are living in a time where it's more important than ever to promote unity and understanding. The black and Jewish communities have both faced enormous hatred, oppression, persecution, and prejudice for thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
In many ways have and will continue to work together to overcome these obstacles. And it's funny because considering how, who owned these slave ships, and we did a show about this before, and we'll discuss this a little bit more.
Yeah.
But people tend to forget that in the Confederacy, there were 10,000 Jewish soldiers for the South
that were fighting for.
There was a Jewish man on a Confederate dollar, on
right.
a $2 bill.
And that's the thing about it. People often want to throw the Uish in with our struggle. I mean, when it comes to our struggle, they want to throw everybody in. Everybody,
right.
and mama is people of color.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing about the Uish people, it's one of those things where the same way the Irish were treated away in America, the same way the Italians were treated away in America, that's how you could see the Uish.
Yeah.
Because they were Europeans.
Right.
They're Europeans that weren't Anglo-Saxon, but then over time you saw how they immigrated. They integrated within the society.
Yeah.
And so the society wasn't just an Anglo-Saxon society; it became a white supremacist overall society.
And all this kind of happened kind of recent.
At the end of the day, they're white.
Yeah, they're white. They have white privilege.
Exactly.
And they're good to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people don't understand that. And so we had the whole interview on our channel here. And I think we one of the only few channels that has the whole original interview with Nick Cannon. And
oh man, we snatched it quick.
Yeah. Nick snatched it down. But this is the interview he did with Griff, with Public Enemy, and that would set everything off, So I mean, he was fine. He had a lot of pro-black people on his show,
right?
And then things started to change.
Man, now he's gonna have a bunch of rabbis.
Yeah. But even after that happened, we covered it, because we did a few shows, and this is from our channel. So this is the interview on our channel, and then right afterwards, we did a show telling the untold history of Israel,
right.
and we went in deep with some of those things. Definitely, I want to check it out. So after that, it's going down. Now we better go to how Cannon's show looking like now.
Man, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
What the heck?
So Cannon went from having guests like these. He had he had Griff on there. He had Tariq Nasheed on there.
Right.
He had Rizza Islam on there. He had a lot of black people on his show.
A lot of really B1 pro-black people that they would call extremists.
But after the apology, we started getting shows like this now.
Man, that looks like the cast of CNN.
Yeah, the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism.
You got to be kidding me, man.
All right, so you think that this be one show, you know, just try to clear things up for his apology? Nah, we got more. Another show he did.
Oh my gosh, man.
This is one he did with Rabbi Cooper, and Cooper was on there more than once, and the Reverend Johnny Moore.
Rabbi Cooper, that's actually the one. What Rabbi Cooper did is he actually gave Nick Cannon some books for re-education.
This is also the same guy that been dodging Farrakhan.
Word.
Yeah, this is the same guy that been dodging Farrakhan. So he can't sit down with Farrakhan, but he made time to sit down with Nick.
Because he knows Farrakhan would eat him alive.
Yeah. Oh, it gets more. This is the new Cannon class show now. Yeah, Benjamin Crump. Now he's a civil rights lawyer for all the cases of like when black people get gunned down by police.
Yeah.
And you know the police never get persecuted. He uses the lawyer for the victims.
For the victims that got shot down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the one to take the deals.
Damn,
Yeah, he take the settlement. Yeah, Benjamin Crump. So like this is the type of people he's part of the establishment.
Right.
You know, basically. Like you can look at his record. At all the civil rights cases he took of unarmed people getting gunned down by police, look how many of them got persecuted. They actually got convicted. With him being the lawyer. With him, he taking the settlement.
Dang, bro.
He takes the deal every time.
Of
right.
course, right.
Oh, here's some more. So what's so funny about this video here? I went down to the comments. They talk about Young Pharaoh.
Man.
Play Young Pharaoh's interview. You playing? Nick is scared to release a Young Pharaoh interview. Like this is under Benjamin Crump's interview now.
Because after everything happened, Nick teased having Young Pharaoh on his show, but then all of a sudden he drew back.
Yeah, he started pulling these shows back.
Right.
But I thought that was funny. They showed that under Benjamin's video.
Like, man, we don't want to listen to him.
No, we don't listen to him. We want the old Cannon's class back. All right, gets more. Another one. This is Rabbi Noam Moran's.
My gosh.
So you keep having these rabbis on his show.
Right.
Like this is multiple shows. I went back and took screenshots.
Man, how many shows?
Another show. Rabbi Cooper the first time he was on the show.
Man, and Nick looks like he's in the principal's office, man.
Yeah. He
looks like he's in trouble.
Man, like I can't even watch these shows. They cringy. I didn't even want to.
Man,
you already know what it's about. They all talking down on him.
They're just lecturing him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's no dialogue like the other shows and back and forth. None of that. You taking these lessons.
It's like just have me on your show. Let me lecture you.
Yeah.
And do they think that the black audience is gonna take on to that?
But that's part of his apology tour.
Yeah.
There's a part of the price he had to pay to get his show back.
An apology tour, because I mean, not only did he have to do this, he had to go to Auschwitz. He had to go to.
We're gonna show that too.
What's that historical?
Yeah, no argument.
Yeah,
we're gonna show that too.
That Weston, I don't know, Weston Hall, I believe, or something like that.
Another bootleg right here. Michael Eric Dyson.
My God.
He part of the system too.
Man, isn't that so? That's about what 6 of them so far.
Yeah, I'm just lining them up. Like this dates back to July and August. Just line them up. Yep. I thought this came from his comments. Yeah. So you're rolling out the bootlegs, but delete the real ones.
Yeah.
This is under this show.
So he actually did go back and delete Tariq Nasheed, Rizza Islam, and all that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Because once I saw that, let me go check his channel. And yeah, and lo and behold, yeah, they were gone.
You gotta be freaking kidding.
Yeah, I guess he take. And mind you, like those other interviews, I watched them. Like I didn't see anything really controversial about them, but I guess it's playing it safe.
Just the fact that they are associated with being pro-black.
Yep, he couldn't do it. Oh, get some more. Another rabbi. Yeah, the Rabbi Cooper again. Now, these different shows because this one here dated July 21st.
Man, how many times did he bring a sleeping bag?
Right. This is August 31st. So he kept bringing this rabbi back on the show.
Goodness, back to back.
Yeah, he kept bringing him back. And I'm talking about long interviews.
Like what, man? How many times? Like what is there even to talk about on that show, man?
I could barely tolerate 5 minutes of those shows, to be honest with you.
Right, I can imagine.
Yeah, man, because we already know what they're about. We already know what angle they're coming from, and like, why is it? I can't watch an hour of that. Right. You know, and him getting like educated You know, you already know about it. Yeah, so this is from Essence. Nick Cannon makes good on promise to learn about the Jewish community. So early this week, the comedian and TV host proved that his tweet was more than just lip service. Cannon visited the this is what you were talking about here.
Yeah, the Weisenthal.
Yeah, Center and Museum of Tolerance in L.A. to learn about the organization. To challenge his visitors to confront bigotry and racism and understand the Holocaust. They always throw the Holocaust in your face. They always throw the Holocaust in your face.
In both historical and contemporary context.
Yeah, first thing about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's about how he was a Nazi death camp survivor whose life's work was documenting Holocaust crimes, and more than 350, I guess this typo here, 350,000 people visit the center annually. At the center, the father of three got a history lesson, which included seeing the letter Adolf Hitler wrote about his plans to single Jews from Germany.
So did Adolf write it in English or German?
That was a good question. And he also there to learn how to connect Black and Jewish communities. So and so one of the people.
This part is interesting. This part threw me for a loop.
Oh man, one of the people who reached out to Cannon at P. Diddy's request after the podcast conversation was
P. Diddy's request.
Yeah, was talent manager Guy Osiri. After speaking with Cannon, he wrote on Instagram, "Fostering a strong connection between the Jewish and Black communities has always been important to me. This is an essential relationship between people who understand the pain of oppression."
Understand the pain of oppression.
I can't say that with a straight face. And should work in solidarity to see justice and equality realized. Yeah,
like with the civil rights movement. And
yeah, they're definitely trying to shame him.
Here's what's interesting. What I find interesting as far as with the Cannon class and them coming on to his platform, just like BET, VH1. The hip hop industry, because I mean you have your Leo Cohens of the world that are going to come into your realm and tell you how to be Black.
Yeah, how you do be Black. But Joe Biden said the same thing.
Yeah,
if
you don't vote for me, you just ain't Black.
Yeah, like they tell you how you supposed to be,
and it's wild to see it just over and over again because that's what these rabbis are doing. They're coming on to his Black platform.
Go to his platform.
Yeah, and telling him how he should be Black.
Yeah. The comments are crazy because I once heard him say that he was unapologetic Black, and now, wow, you do anything for that money. Yeah, but absolutely. Yeah.
You're going to see more of what he did, and it's going to be mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah. It gets better.
And that's another thing I want to say, because even with the civil rights movement, they push Malcolm X. No. They pushed Martin Luther King while they disregarded Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm X wasn't playing with him.
No.
Martin Luther King became the gold standard into this is how you fight for freedom.
Yeah. People didn't realize when MLK showed up at the White House as a guest, right then and there, he playing ball.
Man, how do you negotiate with, like, if you're about to protest somebody, do you go and have a conversation with them like, yeah, I'm about to protest you tomorrow. How do you want me to do it?
Yeah, and that's basically what he did.
Yeah.
And we covered it. And we covered this on the show before. He definitely, if you're new to the channel, definitely check out our old shows. But that what Dr. King did. He went to the White House. He sat down with Stephen Currier and JFK, and they hijacked the March on Washington. Right. They gave him some money, and they rerouted the march. They censored their speeches, and he told them to be done by sundown, and they were gone.
Right.
And you got to think about how interracial that March on Washington really was.
Man, it was more like a picnic than a march.
Yeah, more than anything else.
Seriously.
And really, the speech had nothing to do with why they was there in Washington. And the March on Washington wasn't even Dr. King's idea.
No, he hijacked it.
Yeah, he hijacked that too. But yeah, it gets better. The same article here. To illustrate his commitment to the Jewish community, Cannon plans to put his money where his mouth is by donating the Masked Singer paychecks to the center, man.
The first Masked Singer paycheck is going to
That's a check.
Man.
So not only did they hijack your show,
right?
Your pro-Black show, made you sit down episodes of your show,
right?
All right. Then they made you go visit this center, and they made you donate money to this center.
So the money's not going into your community.
Not even into your own community, bro.
It's going into their
pockets.
Because man, I can't remember the last time I went to a Islam. I mean, I can remember going to slums and seeing us.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to reach far back to do that. But when was the last time you saw Ish in the slums?
Yeah.
They have their own schools. They have their own.
When the last time you seen Ish working fast food, working Walmart?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But they need his donation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Come on, man.
Yep. So, let's keep going here. This next headline. Nick Cannon get job back after saying white people are subhuman savages because they had less melanin. All right, so the Red Elephants. This is from a conservative website. See, one thing I had to give them credit. They'll put on game because you would think he got punished for that. No, he got punished for saying that we the real Israelites.
Not only did
he punished for saying that though.
Right, he got punished for saying that we're the real Hebrews, and he got punished for allowing Griff to explain the different people that own the entertainment industry.
Yeah,
that was about it.
Yeah, because here in his article it says no. Let's be clear, Cannon was not fired for saying white people are subhuman and closer to animals because they lack melanin. Nobody talks about that quote at all.
Nah.
This type of rhetoric against white people is encouraged across media and academia. You can't even find exactly what he said about white people in any mainstream news website. You're right. They only talk about what he said about the Uish.
Right.
But Viacom, which is owned by Uish American billionaire Sumner Redstone, fired Cannon for anti-Semitic remarks.
Goodness, man.
So bypass what he said about the far left part about white people lacking melanin. They focus on that one little part he said about the Israelites.
And as we see, what the term anti-Semitic has a very wide net. Because you just point out, okay, well, this person, or this person owns this, and this, and you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
You just point out a fact.
Yeah, but they control the definition of it, and they can use it however they please.
Right.
You know?
And another interesting thing, and I'm not sure if you have any screenshots that actually show it right here, but they kept saying anti-Semitic theories. They kept saying anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. They kept throwing out that term in multiple different articles. Conspiracy theories. And it's like, he's not throwing out a conspiracy theory. These things are owned by these people. Yeah.
We just showed about that. We know that 5 companies own 90% of the media.
Right.
Which is crazy. And then, but I do remember watching this documentary, expose rather, from Al Jazeera. You know, they do a lot of great stuff. And they went undercover to these pro-Israel lobbies, you know, and one in the footage they said, yo, if somebody says something you don't like, they say they're anti-Semitic. They said it on the undercover camera.
Of course, man.
They throw them out, shut them down every time, and she was right. It works.
Yeah,
every single time.
Even though they have one of the, I mean, it literally is a white supremacist Euro state.
Yeah.
It's a white supremacist state. It's their dream.
That's why they're friends with the U.S.
Yeah.
Very similar system.
Yeah, and they're beating down the colored folk in their communities, but they're getting away with it. They're going as far as to sterilize people, but getting away with it.
Yeah, but you know, they're the oppressed ones though, right?
Yeah, they're oppressed.
Yeah, and also throughout the interview, Cannon asked why so much power given to the Days. He also talked about the Illuminati, the Zionists, and the Rothschilds. And of course, we're referring to one of the wealthy Uish families known for helping Israel finance their clandestine nuclear program in the 1960s, as well as the formal creation of the state of Israel in the 1940s. Also, no one in the media came to Cannon's defense in regards to what he said about Zionists, but me defending his statements on white people. Yeah, that was probably interesting. I watched the podcast with Dr. Boyce Watkins. You know, he did on Nick Cannon and butt breaking, and he made an interesting point how what happened to all the celebrity black people always mouthing off media. They were completely quiet when nobody come to Nick's defense.
Ain't that something? Right.
So, you know, and not justifying Nick's actions. I mean, Nick made his decision and he paid his price how he see fit.
Right,
you know,
right.
But Nick didn't apologize right after it happened. I mean, he was keeping his stance.
And that's a wild thing. At first he was going to own up. He was going to
he was taking the smoke.
Yeah, he was gonna stand his ground and say, I said what I said, and it is what it is. But then once he started stripping everything from him.
Yeah.
But man, and I don't want to be the kind of person to make this comparison all the time, but you know, if it was some stuff said about black folk, this wouldn't happen.
No.
They might maybe fire the person, but they're not going to have to donate to HBCU.
Yeah, they have some black leaders and go on
Right.
tour, learn their history, donate to museum.
You're not going to have a black leader. You're not going to have Boyce Watkins on a show with Ben Shapiro.
You're right.
Because Ben Shapiro said some mess about us.
Right, exactly. But that just show you how much power we don't have in this country.
Right.
And my thing. I forgot the point I was about to make. I just had a brain fart.
No, you were saying about the whole thing with us. It shows how little power we have in this country and how much power they actually do.
Yeah, right. Because like I said, they can say what they want about us, and they just dust off, move on. Oh yeah. So after they get fired, oftentimes they get rehired quietly.
Yeah.
You know, or like say that cop got fired for gunning down an unarmed black man.
Mm.
Yeah, they get the public. They're like, oh yeah, he getting fired, not convicted, not charged with murder, anything.
Right.
No, he's fired. And then quietly, you look up years later, they did work for another precinct somewhere else.
Right, that easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a deal breaker.
He's still a government worker at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's thinking, I mean, they're going to look out for him.
Right.
Because they know what it is. Let's go to the next slide here. Yeah.
Again, man. Yo,
yeah,
he has a sleeping bag underneath that table.
I tell you, man, it has to be. It's a quote I want to get from here. Okay, yeah. So following the visits, Cannon issued a statement that he feels ashamed of the uninformed and naive place his anti-Semitic comments came from. He went on to say that he sends his deepest and most sincere apologies to my Jewish sisters and brothers for the hurtful and divisive words that came out of my mouth. Like, this is like the stiff apology, bro.
Man.
These are multiple quotes of him constantly apologizing to different sources.
And he was just pointing out who owned what.
You know? But months later, he was rehired by Viacom. Right. And the vast majority of the population still have no idea what he said about white people. No, they only go about what he was saying about the Uwish.
Right.
That is interesting.
And before we get into that, the whole thing with the dude that owns Liongate, or he works with Liongate in some kind of capacity.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, Delmere Mercury?
Mm-hmm.
He was actually talking to Nick, talking about how it's interesting seeing how these big companies are all coming together, because I mean that's what Viacom and all these different companies have been doing, is they've been getting all these different company leaders, executives, and the Jewish community together to talk to Nick.
Yeah.
In order to figure out a way to try to get to the black community.
Yeah.
So after this intervention with all these powerful people, then he could get his show back.
Yeah, he get his show back. Yeah, they people they dragged him for 7 months. This is 7 long months of this.
Burn.
I mean, like I said, it wasn't like he apologized one day, put out a press release, and it was all was forgiven and forgotten.
Right.
No, they dragged him to the mud for a minute. But I mean, this is go to the Emasulation of what they do to black men, man. Like look at what they're doing here. This is another prime example.
Goodness, bro.
This guy here. I mean, I was so disgusted when I saw this at first, bro.
Why does he keep doing this mess, bro?
Look what you doing for attention now, bro. Look at this mess here.
Yeah.
We can't make this stuff up.
My goodness.
He did all that just to bring attention that he's dropping a new single soon.
Right.
They did all that for. But he had to play ball too. I mean, he had the biggest song in the nation for a long time. Mm. And then after all that happened, and then of course, he signed a major label deal.
Yeah. And
it's funny, after he signed that deal, all of a sudden, he came out as, bi.
Right.
And so now, then after that, he started wearing more the different outfits and everything. And then he dropped something like that you see here on the screen.
And I believe around Halloween, he dressed up as Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So this was the first time he crossed over like that.
Goodness,
yeah, some folks like to get their ego stroked with multiple apologies. Yep. Yeah, especially them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are very entitled people.
They want you to grovel.
Yeah, but look at they doing to little Nas X, man. And this is a young guy. Like, I think he's 22 now.
Like, ain't that some mess?
Yeah, because On Country Road came out. You talk about he was like, what, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 years old.
Yeah, 18, 20.
And already gets swallowed up in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but this is not real. I mean, he photoshopped it and everything, but it's the fact that he did it, period. Like, I'm not doing that to promote a song, simply put,
Right.
But, but we can't really speak in saying that they try and emasculate us because they feel like this is a false narrative. Here's the link here.
This one was Interesting to say the least.
Yeah. All right. This came from blackfeminist.com, blackfeminisms.com.
Black feminism's plural.
Plural. And this wasn't the only website. This is one of many sites that is pushing this narrative.
Right.
Say emasculation is a pseudo-scientific myth. Pseudoscience refers to claims presented as fact that do not meet the standards of scientific method. The concept of emasculation applied to humans goes back to scientific racism.
Scientific racism.
And I mean, they go on to prove that what we're saying has no meaning.
Yeah.
But we see it on and on again, you know. And I found a link actually it goes deeper into all the stuff that black men had to do, you know, just to get by. Because I mean, I never forget watching the Breakfast Club a long time ago with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And I mean, at one point he said he would never wear a dress. A year later, he was in a dress.
And that's him.
I mean, here's another story with Dave Chappelle. He told a similar story.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying he was doing the show, and he went to the dressing room. All of a sudden, there was a dress hanging up.
And that's him.
You know, and then so you know he asked the producer like, "Yo, like, you know, what's up with this dress?" He's like, "Oh, we came up with this funny bit on the fly. You know, we thought it'd be funny to put on the dress." And Dave like, "No," you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they constantly do that. I mean, and most of our black entertainers have done it.
Jamie Foxx.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames.
Man, all kinds of
Ving Rhames, a big dude.
Right.
You know, like they constantly belittling us. And then, funny enough, man, I've been noticing too. Like almost every commercial now, like damn near every commercial, is a swirly couple.
Oh man, they can't not do it.
Like in most cases, it's gonna be a black woman and a white man.
And a white man, not an Asian man, not a Hispanic man, not an Indian man, a white man. But it's interesting because they show this all-inclusive kind of narrative, but they constantly, whenever you see an interracial couple, it's a white person and somebody else, a white person and somebody else. You see a show like the Mindy Project, for instance. It's with the Indian lady. Yeah, it's always a bunch of white guys. Yeah, it's always a bunch of white guys as a love interest, and it's interesting because she had I saw it was just a commercial I saw for the one time she was with the Indian guy, and you know he called her a coconut. You know, you're black, brown on the outside, white on the inside.
Wow, I was first time hearing that.
Yeah, but it was interesting, man, because it was only done for novelty. And then she went back to the white boys. Wow. And in this article, they say that the whole thing with the concept of emasculation is a white supremacist kind of concept. And it's interesting. Don't they talk about butt breaking in this?
Yeah, briefly. Yep. No, that's the other article after that.
Yeah.
They talk about the butt breaking.
Yeah, because they don't get into the whole thing of butt breaking, and they also try to make these logical arguments as far as like these different. You see, you got different kinds of people that have conversation. You got people that try to read a book in order to learn, and you got people that try to read a book in order to debate. You got people that are learners, and then you got debaters. There's a big difference between a learner and a debater, because it's one of those things where in this they were pulling out all the stops when it came to all these false equivalencies and all these different logical fallacies. But during this article, they're not putting two and two together. Like, for instance, they're saying the whole thing with the breakdown of the black family was due to, people say that feminism broke down the black family, which it did. But they say that it's a false equivalency because, you guys blame feminism and not the lack of jobs. Not the lack of work.
Right.
Not the lack of work.
And they quietly erasing us out of existence. And that's really what they're trying to do. Because even with the Black Lives Matter website, right, same thing. Like, you know, they don't believe in the black man head of household. Right. You know, but now that makes sense. Why all the companies were like supporting them and donating money to them all last summer.
Because they want to topple the black community.
Yeah.
And they're starting with the black men. And that's when you think about the first bootlickers, the first ones they try to get to were black men. Because once black men turn against the community, you got the women vulnerable, and then a woman becomes bitter because the men have turned against the community. Why do you think they kept pushing the whole thing with black men going off to be with a white woman.
Yeah.
They pushed them in all these different songs and all these different shows and all these different, and you saw all the celebrities. The black men kept going to marrying these hideous white women. Not even good looking white women, hideous.
Yeah. We sure how long, and really it's an old war tactic. You think about it, you know what I'm saying?
Division,
like,
man.
Yeah, because you conquer your enemy or fellow nation, but they kill off the men and they take the women.
Exactly.
And then assimilate them into the society.
So the women have their seed, and the women become committed to them because they become the heads. The woman's going to take on their culture because they're the dominant ones. But you see how in this, and it's interesting with this article, man. I'm wondering who wrote this, because they're saying all this, that, and the third about black emasculation being a myth.
Mm-hmm.
But then oftentimes you see a lot of these black feminists, and who are they dating?
You know, it's funny too, because like I just saw an argument yesterday on social media, and this black woman was saying, because it was a black man making a very similar point,
right? And
so the black woman, she hopped under there. She's like, you know, you totally wrong about this, and actually, you know, the black men are the white people of black people,
and it's on.
And I was like, hey, you know, I was like, houseway, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like especially in Atlanta, man, black women doing pretty well here. Like,
right.
You know, I don't see too many black men in these positions, and if they are in a position of power, they're cool. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like even if you do see a sort of couple would be a black man and a white woman, that black man still dressed like her, you know, and her culture and her belief system.
Right.
Like it's not her, you know, into his culture or anything.
She might like 90s hip hop.
That's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, you know, that's probably how it started.
You know, you said celebrating these European holidays.
Yeah.
You know, you said this proud to be American thing going on, like, you know, clean shaven, you know, the whole look they like going for. Like, so you still like one of them.
Exactly.
You know, it's never the other way around. Yeah, but yeah, this was a good article, the Emasulation of Black Men in America. And this one made a list of people.
I'm not sure if it was at that point or a little further down.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Right
there.
Yeah,
right here.
Tyler Perry, Wesley Snipes, Jamie Foxx, Will Smith, Charles Barkley, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Dennis Rodman, Terry Crews.
Yeah, there was Terry Crews.
Chris Tucker, Arsenio Hall, Kevin Hart, LeBron James, Kendall Thompson, what is that?
Ving Rhames. Yeah, you know, he did Baby Boy, Mission Impossible, Holiday Heart, where he was like a woman.
Right.
Wesley Snipes, I want to say, I forgot, I want to say 2-1 Fu was the name of that movie. He was just like a woman. Tucker went crazy.
Oh, man. Like Chris Tucker? Oh,
yeah, Chris Tucker just kind of went crazy.
But Chris Tucker went on, was on Epstein's plane.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Terry Crews, you already know about Terry Crews.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he let this white man grab his balls in the party, and he was cool with it.
And the interesting thing is, when you look throughout Hollywood, you don't see much of white people in dresses, as much as you see us brothers in dresses. As soon as you got an influential brother as an actor, you're gonna see him in a dress.
Yeah.
But they don't do that with I mean,
the only one I can really think of is Denzel Washington.
That hasn't. Right.
He probably I was really thinking about that because, and you know, and much as I love Chadwick Boseman as an actor, you know.
Oh man, he's one of them.
He was one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he was at the ball.
Yeah.
I want to say the Met Ball, the Met Gala.
Yeah.
He was at the Met Gala.
Well, another one that I could think of, maybe Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's only a couple. But
yeah,
you see,
and they technically old school now. I mean, they both older. I mean, I want to say they're both over 60.
Right, exactly.
You know,
and so you're seeing how the example with Nick Cannon, that was definitely butt breaking because you had this unapologetic, very influential. I mean, the dude, he's fun to make fun of. He's one of those people he's fun to make fun of. But at the end of the day, influential black man He was getting into the whole thing with the turbans. The man was on Nickelodeon. He had Wildin' Out. He had all these different.
He was an executive of Nickelodeon on top of that.
Exactly.
I mean, he worked with them since he was a teenager.
Man, and so imagine how encouraging it was to have a man like that, a man that had all these different revenues and was getting big business, starting his own things. And then he would go do his show and he would talk about all these pro-black issues and he would have all these pro-black icons on his shows talking about all these different things. So imagine you have that. Yo, that's the buck.
Yeah.
You got the buck on
You
the
know,
plantation,
but funny though, man. But you know, Nick was always 1 foot in, 1 foot out too, though.
Of course,
I mean, he was never fully in it.
Yeah.
And I remember actually
sometimes he would say his coon stuff. You
Oh
know?
man, I don't know if you saw the interview they did with Riz Islam. That was Riz Islam exposed him on that interview.
Word.
Yeah. Cause you know, Riz Islam was talking about, you know, of course, the black community building his own. Cause you know, the Nation of Islam, they really about that and everything, and about the black woman. And so the Nick was about white women. And boy,
and that's his thing.
No man, and he was like defending it hardcore.
That's where he falls.
Yeah,
the whole thing. We're talking about the black community, man. Where does the white woman fit into the black community?
Yeah, and like I say, man, you know, I know some sorority couples. I mean, you know, love who you want to love and marry who you want to marry, whatever. Cool, but I mean, I used to do you.
Right. It's one of those things where you could do that, but don't play this part.
Yeah.
Don't play this part.
And then you married to Mariah Carey, like who's just known for being a diva.
Right.
Like known, like to be on that level, you know. Right. So it's like so they kind of got exposed. So I think. Yeah, I mean, he kind of exposed himself because even the interview with Griff, you know, that wasn't an interview that slipped out. That was on his platform.
Exactly.
He made a conscious decision to have that man on his show.
Right.
He made a conscious decision to have that conversation with him.
Right.
He made a conscious decision after the show to post it.
And that's the thing.
He got beside himself.
Be ready. If you're gonna talk that, be ready to be about that.
But he played the game for so long. He thought he was one of them. He thought, he didn't think he would be touched.
Man.
But at the same time, like even watch the interview, he said a couple times, like, man, you gonna get in trouble for this. And I'm thinking, like, then why do you post it, or why do you have the conversation with Griff out of all people?
And that's the thing, because I mean, it was a good, enlightening conversation at the end of the day. Yeah,
it was all good stuff because I knew about the story of Griff and Public Enemy, but to hear from his own mouth and hear all the details that people never speak of, I mean, I learned a lot from the interview.
But man, what I think is sad is the fact that we can't have these conversations. You know what I mean? We can't have like somebody like Nick can't have this conversation.
We can't have that conversation and play ball with them because like we talk about the capitalism. There's a price to pay. Like I said, Jay-Z paid that price. Right. So Jay-Z would never.
Heck no.
Yeah, because Jay-Z knows.
Yo, Joe, it's from my brothers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Nick want to play ball like that with the Jay-Z, and you used to try to connect with us, and that's not gonna work. You had to pick a side, and Nick was the definition of somebody who was riding the fence.
Right.
And then when he got to a point, he had to choose a side.
Oh boy, did he choose his side?
He chose his side. You know? Yeah, it's crazy. He released that one out of all the videos and storage. Yeah, Griff interview made me rethink everything. Yeah, and then mind you, he sits on those interviews for months. I didn't realize that.
Right.
And I didn't know that until he released the interview with Tariq Nasheed, the guy that Hidden Colors.
Yeah.
And because he released that interview, I watched a live stream with Tariq Nasheed like that following week. And Tariq was like, yeah, man, we did that like 9 months ago. I was like, dang.
9 months, man.
Like, so you sit on the interview for months. I was like, you can't serve two masters. He chose his side.
It's kind of like when you play poker. You know, when you play poker, you got to pay to get in the game.
And Nick lives very well. Like I saw, I saw some interview he did for, I want to say it was like a men's muscle magazine.
Yeah.
And so he was on the cover of it, but they did like a whole video highlight with him. And on the video, they went to Nick's place and everything. You know, the recording studio that he has. Yeah. Like, I mean, he has a very luxurious life. I mean, he was Mariah Carey, so you got to have some money. Yeah. That costs money in itself.
Oh, of course.
You know, so I mean, he wouldn't really sacrifice that lifestyle. I'm pretty sure behind closed doors, before he made that apology, they had a conversation with him like, yo, which we going to be?
Yeah.
And he chose the material things at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's good that he has all that knowledge, but when you're not putting this stuff in action, because actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So you're saying all this pro-black stuff. That's amazing. That's phenomenal, man. And then you go and you donate to the Weinstein whatever center.
So
you
knowing
put money.
So knowing how after Nick all that he's done, how do you personally feel about Nick now? After all that has happened in the past 7 months, how it unfolded.
No, me personally, man, you can't respect a coon. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where, I mean, at first you did feel bad for the man because he was standing his ground.
Yeah,
he was standing his ground, and all this stuff got pulled from him.
Yeah,
so you're just like, oh man, okay. Then he apologizes. Okay, you know,
whatever,
do a little politicking. But man, this,
but
but you see, you don't. Just like with the C thing, you do not let a crisis go to waste. They did not let this opportunity to go to it. Man, look how many times they're on the man's show.
They constantly,
they had bunk beds in there, man. Like, they must have just stayed in the studio.
Constantly on it to do the show.
Right.
I see the rabbi in there more than I see Nick.
Yeah.
On the channel now.
I thought, you think the rabbi's hosting it.
I thought APAC channel.
Right. Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, and I had of course I had no ill will toward God. I don't know the man, but I feel the same way.
Not. Yeah.
But he chose his side, man. And he made it be clear. And I always, like I say, I noticed the different hints in different interviews and words. I always knew he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And like I say, you make that much money in America as a black man, you pay the price for it.
And I mean, shoot, even if you look at the show Wild 'N Out, you know the kind of people that are on that show.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like the show.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
It's a fun show. And that show been on for a long time. He put on a lot of people.
Right. But you're not going to have anything woke on that show.
No. They're not going to put Candace Class on VH1.
Nah.
You know, I mean, but they
look at VH1, man.
Right, but they let him have his fun with Candace Class because he went on for a long time without them messing with him.
Yeah,
but he just said he had the wrong guest on there, said the wrong thing.
Yeah,
and now all that's totally destroyed.
And I think a big part of it is the fact that it was with Griff. They have a gripe against Griff as well.
Yeah, after all this time.
Yeah,
and we talk about what since the 80s.
Since the 80s, man, because he pointed out who runs the music industry.
Damn, 40 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't forget, they play a long game with their evilness, man.
And another thing, too, is the fact that he quoted Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Of all the Farrakhan quotes, you choose that one?
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. That other thing got him in trouble, too.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's like, well, I hope people seeing the patterns here, man, because and one of the things that inspired me to do the Choose Nick Cannon for tonight's show, one young lady I saw, this black chick on social media.
Yeah,
she was saying, they took Nick Cannon back because they needed him. Yeah, they had to take him back.
Him for what?
And I was, that's what I said. Like, need him for what? Like, Viacom didn't lose any money the past 7 months. He was replaceable.
Man, you know how much different mess they could put out there, and people will come and watch it.
Yeah, easy. They're cheaper.
Right.
Cheaper to produce. Yeah, so she, for some reason, she thought the narrative was spawned to where the only reason to bring Nick back because the past 7 months they was suffering without him. I'm like, nah, they were good without him.
But man, you see, one problem that we do is we overplay our cards.
Yeah.
We look at our deck and we're like, oh man, we got a good deck.
Yeah.
Not knowing that they're not fazed by it.
No. Well, they billionaires.
Yeah.
If Nick is a millionaire, they are billionaires.
Yes.
They don't care about the little chump change he brings to the table. He's very talented. He had a lot of good ideas because, America's Got Talent. Like I said, The Masked Singer.
Right.
He brought other shows there. I don't watch any of those type of things. They're not my cup of tea. But, I mean,
It has its market.
Yeah. It has a market. There were hits for those channels.
Right.
And he did, and I had to give him credit. He tried to do something for us,
right?
By having a platform like Candace Class, but yeah, I mean, it's obvious he gave that up.
Yeah,
What's
on the side? Is that the amount of books he had to read about the issue?
Oh, the amount of books that Rabbi Cooper gave him.
Right.
Yeah.
Read this one and that one.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a done deal, man. It's like, Yeah, so I mean, he got fully exposed, man, and that's the end of an era for Nick. I mean, and of course, not only get Wild 'N Out back, he get his daytime show back.
Oh yeah,
because they're working on a daytime show that puts premiere last year, and they got put on hold.
Yeah.
He had a morning show in L.A. I want to say syndicated.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had a lot of things going for him. Like basically, they would say Nick up to be like the next Steve Harvey.
Right.
You know, because Steve Harvey played ball too. Because Steve Harvey was kind of like pro-black at one point. You know, he had a lot of things like he was doing a lot with 100 Black Men, and he was doing a lot for black boys at one point.
But then he started playing ball, and now he has this what's that book? That book that he has.
Yeah, for that book 4, that was a done deal.
Man, I
forgot the name of the book, but then he had a movie. Yeah, Think Like a Man. That's what it was.
Man. And it's one of those things where you look at his audience and it's a bunch of single women. They go and they listen to him.
Oh, even Steve Harvey's show.
Yeah.
There's most white women in the audience.
Yeah, it's a bunch of single women that go and watch him. They go watch his show, and then by the end of it, they listen to his advice, and they still single. So this is...
He made a good lick off of it.
Well,
he made a good lick off of it.
Man, and this is the caliber of men that they're having in the degree of butt breaking, to the point where not only is it's not even one of those things where it's neutral. It's one of those things where now they're starting to try to use them to worm into our community.
Yeah.
Because now, I mean,
and it worked. People been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, because boy Nick, now he's part of the Black Ooish Alliance now.
Yeah, right. He had a whole alliance with him.
Tiffany Haddish, yo.
And she already been playing ball with him.
Yeah, how did she get recruited specifically? They probably heard that word, the word Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah.
And they wanted to hop on it.
Yeah, she been playing ball with him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because of course she close friend with Kevin Hart, play ball with him.
Oh man.
You know, she's dating Common. Common play ball with him.
Oh man. Yeah.
I mean, it's all in the same circle.
And it's sad because I mean, even Common, man, he used to be pro-black.
Yeah. Yeah, very talented artist and everything. Yeah, but yeah, he playing with them now.
Yeah,
and very obvious. So they all hang together. You know, they all got each other at this point. You know,
right.
So like, man, but yeah, man, that's people we have for you, man.
Coalition, man. The coalition.
Yeah, man, that's just crazy. Yeah, that's people we have for y'all, man. We just want to speak on the can and breaking everything down, and was it worth the cost for him to get his show back? Well, all that he went through for the past 7 months, was that worth getting his show back? Because I mean, one thing about Nick, I had to give it to him. He's very talented, and he has a lot of ideas. My thing is, he could have easily came up with another idea and went somewhere else.
But nah, man.
Oh yeah, you went to taping a Family Feud. One thing I get, and like I said, man, I'm not the one to throw him on the bus just for the sake of throwing him on the bus. One thing I give to Steve, I don't know, he was saying on Family Feud or one of the shows, he was talking about how he works 12 to 14 hours a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he is a hard worker. I mean, he hustles and he get to where he's at. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I mean, so these people work hard. Kevin Hart.
Right.
I mean, he was on Breakfast Club. He said he started his day at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And
a lot of them
are
hard workers.
And he worked with, you know, he look after his team.
Yeah.
He take care of his team, but you know, you just play ball with them.
And that's the main thing, because I mean, at the end of the day, the show's done, and you know, we go about our lives, but you gotta know who's playing ball and who's not.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where Cannon has lost that position. Now he's on par with the MLKs of the world as far as, you know, he's a black face, but he has white hands.
The ooh is on him.
Right, exactly. White hands hovering above his head with strings.
Yeah.
Playing the man.
Yeah, man, but y'all haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe. You know, it's our music channel, Yoshi Music Vibes. The Yoshi Vibes Music, but definitely subscribe. Hopefully next week we'll be back on our regular channel, The Black Narrative.
Hopefully. We won't have a show this Thursday.
Yeah, we won't have a show this Thursday. Thursday is the new moon. We'll be observing the new Hebrew month, so we won't be here Thursday. So we will be back next Tuesday. So this is the only show for this week. But you can join our Discord. You can also leave a comment. I stay pretty active in the YouTube community, making posts, let you know what's going on. You have an idea for the show, let us know in the comments. We read the comments and everything. We will be putting the show on the Black Narrative. Yes. So you missed it on the Yoshi channel. I will have it on the Black Narrative channel. But definitely, man, I appreciate y'all for hanging with us tonight. Anything else you want to add?
Stay vigilant.
All right, man. But I catch y'all next. I hope you have a great week. I catch y'all next Tuesday. Shalom.
Shalom, y'all. Good night.
My name is Black Ice.
And I'm Keys. And we're the Black Narrative.
We are a Black First and Hebrew Israelite channel on YouTube that broadcasts live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every week, we discuss controversial issues and challenge false narratives that are fed to Black people through mass media. We share research through videos and encourage uncomfortable conversations amongst the Black community.
Our show features topics such as exposing fact checkers, the racist history of medical research, the origins of so-called Black Greek fraternity organizations, Christian origins of HBCUs, and much, much more.
Look at the Black Narrative on YouTube or go to our website,